What's your favorite product and how would you improve it? This time in its hardware form. And the hardware version is harder. Very few people use a piece of hardware deeply enough to have a real point of view, so candidates fall back on specs. But the interviewer isn't looking for a spec sheet. They want to know the one thing the specs add up to, what the product is actually for, and why every hardware decision serves it. My pick is the Kindle. If you want the software version of this answer, I broke down Netflix in a separate video, link in the description. Hi, I'm Muthu. I've been a PM at Google, Flipkart, and other tech companies for over 12 years. This is PM Up Level, interview prep for senior level PM roles in India. Subscribe. One video a week, all of it from 12 years of experience interviewing and being interviewed for India PM roles. The framework is the same one I'd use for any favorite product answer. 4 parts in this order every time. Part 1, context. What the product is in one breath. Part 2, who are the users, all sides of the market. Part 3, what problems it solves for each side. Part 4, why it's my favorite, and that's where the real answer lives. What changes for hardware is where the weight sits. In a software answer, the design beat is about features and flows. For hardware, that same beat carries more weight. You have to reason from the design principle down to every hardware decision. What is this device actually for? And how does each hardware choice follow logically from that? If you can answer that, you are ahead of the room. Let me walk through my Kindle answer. Part 1, context. Always open with a one-sentence product definition before your personal take. Kindle is Amazon's e-reading ecosystem, a purpose-built e-ink device plus a digital marketplace with over 12 million titles. It makes money in 3 ways. Devices sold near cost to drive ecosystem lock-in. Per book purchases where authors earn 35 to 70% royalties, and Kindle Unlimited, a subscription for unlimited access. It holds 72% of the global e-reader market. Quick gut check against the 3 rules I used to pick a favorite product. I use it multiple times a week. It's part of my reading routine. It's not overexposed. Serious reading is uncommon and Kindle ownership in India is rarer still. So very few candidates walk in with genuine depth on this product, and it has clear specific gaps I'd already identified before I walked in. It passes all 3. Part 2. Who are the users? 2 sides, not one. Readers. 3 distinct types along an engagement ladder. Habitual readers have a daily ritual. Commute, before bed, while traveling. So Kindle just removes friction from a habit they already have. Open it and they're back on the page where they left off. No loading screen, no menu, no setup. Low frequency readers read, but shallowly. 15 minutes on a weekend, a few pages when they remember. They own the device and use it lightly. The habit exists but never deepened. Aspirational readers want to read more but haven't formed the habit at all. The barrier isn't motivation, it's activation energy. I don't have the book, I don't want to carry it, I'll start next week. They buy a Kindle believing it will make them read more, and whether the product delivers on that belief is a real design challenge. The product has to serve all 3 types of users without degrading the experience for the others. Authors and publishers, the other side, the supply side, everyone trying to reach those readers, and like the readers, they're not one group. At one end, established publishers who already have distribution and want wider reach and better margins. At the other end, independent self-published authors for whom the platform isn't one channel among many, it's their only realistic path to an audience. What unites them is a single need, a direct line to readers that doesn't run through a traditional gatekeeper. Most candidates miss this side entirely, and it's half of why Kindle matters. Part 3. What problems it solves. For readers, before Kindle, reading had 3 friction points that nobody had solved together. The environment problem. You can't read in the dark without a light that disturbs everyone around you. The access problem. Your library is physically limited by what you own or what a store stocks. And the portability problem. Books are heavy and a difficult choice while traveling, which means carrying extra weight. Kindle solved all 3 in one device. For authors and publishers. Before Kindle Direct Publishing, there was effectively one path to readers. Print distribution, 10 to 25% royalties, 18 to 24 month timelines. Most content had no viable path to readers beyond publishing houses. Kindle Direct Publishing changed that. Publish in 24 hours, earn 70% royalties, reach a global catalog instantly. 2 million active KDP authors today. The same device that solved the reader's access problem unlocked distribution for writers who had no other path to the market. 2 sides, 2 real problems, 1 platform solving both. Part 4. Why it's my favorite. Everything from here is the real answer. Impact, and the impact is bigger than the device. I mentioned Kindle Direct Publishing earlier. Here's where it gets bigger. Before KDP, a writer without an agent and a publishing house simply had no path to readers. Now anyone has one. Regional writers, niche topics, first-time authors work that would have never made it past a print gatekeeper now reaches a global audience with 2 million authors publishing directly. Kindle didn't just sell an e-reader, it restructured who gets to publish at all. Great design. This is where the extra weight sits. Reasoning from the design principle, like I flagged at the start. Most candidates stop at the spec list, but every spec traces back to one design principle. Kindle is built to do exactly one thing: get you reading and keep you reading and refuse everything that competes with it. Every other screen fights for our attention. Your phone, your laptop, even a tablet running the Kindle app. Kindle has none of that. No app store, no notifications, no feed. One purpose: reading, the one screen that's left trying to make you smarter, not more distracted. And every spec follows that purpose. E-ink, not because it's cheaper, because it mimics paper and produces zero strain over hours of reading. A long lasting battery, not because Amazon couldn't build a faster chip, but because charger anxiety is reading friction they chose to eliminate. The lightweight, because weight becomes a reason not to carry it, and not carrying it means not reading. None of it is an engineering default. Every spec is a deliberate product decision in service of one goal: remove every reason not to read. Competition? Briefly, physical books, the incumbent Kindle has never fully replaced. Kindle wins on portability, instant access, price, and reading in the dark. Physical still wins on color, illustrated content, and gifting. And here's the nuance: physical book never signals the wrong identity. Nobody mistakes someone reading a book for someone scrolling Instagram. Kindle had to earn that signal. Physical books carried it from day one without trying. Phone reading apps. The Kindle app exists on every phone. Same catalog, zero additional hardware cost. So why buy the device? Because phone reading is the same content in the wrong container. One notification and you have lost the thread. You can't read in bright sunlight. And when you're reading on your phone, nobody around you knows it. Your daughter sees a phone. A stranger on the metro sees a phone. Kindle removed the container problem and gave reading its own identity back. Kobo, the only serious hardware challenger. Open ecosystem, not locked into Amazon. Better for readers who resist platform dependency versus Kindle's 12 million titles, and the hardware finishes less polished. Kobo wins on principle, Kindle wins on depth. How does it make me feel? Three things. Smart. When I'm reading on the Kindle, I'm not looking at my phone. My daughter sees me reading, not scrolling. That distinction matters. Efficient. I can access anything I want. I'm not limited by what's on a shelf in a store. And considerate. I can read at night without the light on, without disturbing anyone. That's not a feature. That's what makes the product possible in a real household. How would you improve Kindle? Now, the separate question. Same 5-step structure I use for any improvement answer: goal, opportunities, ideas for improvement, risks, and success metrics. The same rule applies. Prioritization in opportunities and in ideas is critical. You're ruling out things as you go, not listing everything and ranking at the end. Each step has a specific job. Let me walk through each one for Kindle. Goal. 3 real options: user growth, engagement, or monetization. User growth, there's real headroom, especially in India at around 12% penetration. The unlock is a cheaper device, a low-end Kindle, the way India got low-end smartphones, but that's a manufacturing cost, premium brand, and vernacular content problem all at once. The headroom is real, but the cost to capture it is high and mostly outside product. I'll acknowledge it and move on. Monetization. Per book purchases and Kindle Unlimited already capture well, but both are downstream of one thing: whether readers actually read. Which brings us to engagement. And here's the key move. I'm not chasing the habitual reader. They already read daily and engage deeply. There's nothing to unlock there. The real problem sits 2 tiers below: the low frequency reader who opens Kindle for 15 minutes on a weekend and never goes deeper, and the aspirational reader who bought the device with good intentions and never really activated. Those are the readers who don't buy more books, don't subscribe to Kindle Unlimited, don't recommend the device, and they're exactly where the headroom is. Engagement, moving those 2 segments up the ladder, is the lever that unlocks everything else. Here's what I do in the room. Align with the interviewer before going deeper. I'm going to focus on engagement, specifically moving low frequency and not yet activated readers up the ladder and not the habitual readers who already read daily, because that's what drives every downstream metric. Does that work? Or would you rather I go deeper on monetization directly? That check matters. Don't run a prepared script when the interviewer might want a different angle. Opportunities. So, what blocks an underengaged reader, whether they're low frequency or aspirational, from reading more? 3 structural barriers. Discovery. They open the store and don't know what to buy. And it's not for lack of recommendations. The home screen is wall to wall with For You rails. The gap is that it's all algorithmic and never social. In a physical bookstore, I go by what's popular and more than anything, what a friend told me to read. Neither signal is there, even though Amazon owns Goodreads. It's also one directional. I can't tell it I want a gripping non-fiction for the weekend. I can only scroll its guesses. A reader with no title in mind has nothing pulling them toward one. Continuity. These kind of readers read in bursts with long gaps between sessions. They come back a week or two later and can't remember where the story had got to, what the argument was building toward, or what they had highlighted. Re-entry costs enough effort that picking the book back up feels like work, so they don't, and the book stalls. Accessibility, they have a commute, they're driving, they're doing dishes, and they can't read. The only option is to lose that time entirely. Now, let me prioritize across these. Discovery is the top of the funnel problem. It blocks every under-engaged reader before they start. No discovery, no reading session, everything else is irrelevant. Accessibility is second. It expands the reading context for readers who already want to read but can't in the moment. Continuity is third. It lowers re-entry friction for intermittent readers when they come back after a gap. Ideas for improvement. Digging into discovery, the problem isn't a shortage of recommendations. The home screen is already full of them. What's missing is social proof and a way to express intent, and I would add both. First, social discovery. Bring Goodreads signals into the store itself. What friends are reading? What's popular? What's new and trending in the genres you read? Ratings and reviews surfaced right at the point of decision. Amazon already owns Goodreads, the graph exists, it's just not in the buying flow. Second, AI based discovery. Instead of scrolling the For You rails, the reader says what they are in the mood for, and an assistant reads across titles, reviews, and their own reading history to answer with the few that actually fit. A reader who opens the store without a title in mind should leave with one they're excited to start. That conversion event is what starts the habit. For accessibility, native audible integration, one tap switch from reading to listening on the same title. WhisperSync already syncs position across Kindle devices. Extended to audio, a reader who commutes by car can continue the same book on the same page without switching apps. The reading context expands to every moment where a screen isn't possible. For continuity, an on-demand AI recap. The reader returns to a book, taps recap, and gets a short AI-generated summary of what's happened up to their current position. The key plot beats or the arguments through line, plus the passages they are highlighted. They pull it only when they need it, and because it's bounded to where they've already read, it never spoils what's ahead. A reader who'd otherwise have to reread or give up gets back into the book in 30 seconds. Lower the cost of return, and intermediate readers will actually return. Roadmap. P0, 0 to 3 months, the store discovery upgrade with Goodreads social signals, plus an AI you can ask for the kind of book you're in the mood for in the top 3 markets by Kindle volume, India, US, and Brazil. P1, 3 to 9 months, Audible WhisperSync audio integration for the top 500 titles where both formats exist. P2, 9 to 18 months, on-demand AI recap for returning readers, built only if P0 and P1 engagement data justify it. Risks. 3 risks, and I'll pair each one with a mitigation. Number 1. The social signal only pays off if the reader has a Goodreads graph behind it, and many Kindle readers, especially in India, don't have an active one. Drop it into the store as is, and most people hit an empty friends or reading state, and the feature ships dead for the very readers it's meant to help. Mitigation. Don't gate the value on the friend graph. Lead with signals Goodreads already has at scale. Popularity, ratings, what's trending in a genre, all of which work for everyone. And layer friend level signals on top where the graph exists, prompting lightly to connect contacts and build it. 2. Audible integration isn't purely a product call, it needs cross-team alignment and likely a commercial renegotiation. Mitigation, run the partnership track in parallel and scope the pilot to dual format titles already covered under the existing Audible agreement. So the product work isn't blocked, waiting on the deal. Number 3, the recap is AI generated, so accuracy is the real risk. A summary that misremembers the plot or invents a detail breaks reader trust fast. Mitigation, ground the model strictly in the book's text up to the reader's current position, with no extrapolation, no outside resources, so the recap can only summarize what's actually on the page. That grounding is also what keeps it spoiler safe, and making it on demand keeps the complexity of the core reading experience on a simplicity first device. Success metrics. North Star is weekly active reading sessions per device. Guardrail is Kindle unlimited retention at month 3, the moment when aspirational readers most commonly churn. If sessions go up, but 3-month KU retention or Kindle Unlimited retention doesn't improve, the engagement improvement hasn't reached the users who matter the most. So to summarize, 5 steps. Goal: engagement is the lever that drives every downstream metric. Opportunities: discovery, accessibility, continuity in priority order. Ideas for improvement: the discovery upgrade, social signals plus an AI assistant, audible integration, on-demand AI recap, phased across P0, P1 and P2. Risks: each paired with a mitigation. Seed social discovery with the at-scale signals that work even when friend graphs are thin. A parallel partnership track for audible and grounding the AI recap strictly in on the page text. And success metrics, weekly reading sessions with Kindle Unlimited churn at month 3 as the guardrail. Here's what the debrief sounds at InMobi Glance. It's not, did they pick the right device? It's, did they understand why the hardware decisions were made? Did their improvements connect back to the same design principle? Same 4 parts, same discipline, product context, users, problems, and why it's my favorite, broken into impact, design, competition, and how it makes me feel. Reason from the design principle rather than read off a spec list. And separately, only if asked, one improvement direction, reasoned end to end from goal to metric. Software or hardware, same structure, same thinking. If you're preparing for a hardware product question, drop a comment with which company you're targeting and which product you're thinking of using. I'll tell you if it'll hold up under pressure. Subscribe to PM Up Level, senior PM prep for interviews with India focus.